Let's go. There was a fight at LSU practice, and long story short, it's not something you should really worry about. At the end, I'm going to give you my full thoughts, and you will hear from the players themselves regarding the skirmish. Now, in the background, you see a big staple of what LSU's offense was last year, just a comeback route to Malik Nabers. That was one of our best plays, but there is a reason why that part of the offense is something I think LSU doesn't want to rely on. They want to see more explosive plays downfield. Really good throw to Chris Hilton right there from Jayden Daniels. It's hard to generate explosive plays out of the comeback route. Okay, so obviously let's break down this lineup right here. This is Chris Hilton running with the ones that kept BTJ out with a minor injury. This is Kyren Lacy and Malik Nabers, who were a part of the eventual fight at practice, and they were eventually taken out of practice. Now in the background, you're seeing one of LSU's most popular plays, and in the last breakdown we did a breakdown of the one play that LSU probably ran more of than anything else, Hoss Juke. This is mesh rail, okay? So he's running here, he's running here. This is Kyren Lacy, and this is Chris Hilton. And the hook route over the middle is being run by Mason Taylor. You got Malik running a route over here. And the first read is actually to the running back on the rail, okay? Arkansas ran a lot of this in the Kendall Browse offense, and we also ran a lot of this more so in last year's spring game, but just in general. As you can see, when you're running this route, you want to create traffic for the defenders. This throw right here by Jayden. Boom. Okay, this is what LSU has been talking about. Hitting receivers in stride so they can catch it and make something happen after the catch. That's some really, really good stuff right there. So I expect mesh and mesh rail to be a big part of what we are going to do next season. Okay, so now you see, obviously, we rotate the tight end and running back here. This is Jackson McGohan, the true freshman coming in. And then this is Caleb Jackson, a guy that we are really high on here at LSU. So we decided to run this backside, double slants right here. Okay, and this was something that I think in the Florida State game we did not capitalize on enough, right? They were giving us these slants all game long, and it just depends on how you're taught to read it. Normally it is taught to be read inside out, and there were a few instances where we should have hit Malik on the inside at the slot receiver slant, but once again, I just like seeing Jayden's motion. It seems crisper, it seems quicker, and obviously he's hitting his receivers in stride pretty much on every one of these throws. Now, we get to the offensive line right here, and this is probably going to be the LSU starting offensive line, okay? At left tackle, you have Will Campbell. Left guard, you have Garrett Dellinger. Center, Charles Turner. Right guard, Miles Frazier. And at right tackle, Emory Jones. So not really a shock for those that actually do follow LSU football closely. Now, as you see this rep in the background develop right here, one thing to keep in mind is this is just the individual portions, the team portion of this practice, right? So LSU did have some 11-on-11 going on. A little bit later, I'm going to break down a few clips. Well, not so much clips, but things that I've heard from the 11-on-11. But for right now, we'll just go ahead and run this final rep on out. And I believe this ends up being a handoff here to Caleb Jackson. And it is indeed that, okay? Obviously, something we ran a lot of last year. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. There's so many different ways you can support PHL, including getting you some new PHL merch, baby. Check it out, powerhourlsu.com. And if you guys want to watch this at a faster speed, I've been doing this. You can click this bottom right corner, like gear-looking thing, and it could play at 2x, okay? So, really quickly, I want to show you this play right here from Garrett Nussmeier. I love this route combination from Mike Denbrock here, okay? I love pre-snap motion, and LSU was one of the most pre-snap motion heavy teams last year in the SEC. And one thing I really like about a pre-snap motion right here, Aaron Anderson just has so much speed. He motions in, and we got a nice little high-low action right here with Armani Goodwin running in the flat and Aaron Anderson running this corner. We got Landon Ibieta running this sit, curl, whatever you want to call it, and we get a nice little throw here to get things going. Once again, Obviously, this is easy to do versus air, but you love to see it, right? So you got the second team offensive line here, and we do have some movement here. So at left guard, Kimo McInally, we've seen him play some second team left tackle. This is Bo Bordelon at left tackle right here. The center, Marlon Martinez, Mason Lunsford right guard, and true freshman Lance Hurd at tackle next to Mac Markway. Okay, so here we are. We are running a different variation of mesh, and once again, a really good throw by Garrett Nussmeier to Mac Markway, who slipped a little, and we have Shelton Sampson out there as well. Okay, so obviously, you do see, in particular at the skill positions, a lot of change. But the one thing that we have seen at constant is the first team and the second team offensive lines being what they are, okay? And obviously the first and second team quarterbacks being what they are, all right? So, once again, obviously it's a lot of lining up in the right spot, getting people where they need to be. And this is pretty interesting to see Shelton Sampson working with the second team. Now, once again, BTJ was out, so everyone was able to move up. But how much of that are we going to see? Okay, we get Aaron Anderson on a little drag right there. Something, that I saw Aaron doing the last practice is when you catch, these routes, you're never going to be able to turn upfield like that. Even if the ball is slightly thrown behind you, which it was right here, you want to catch it and actually turn this way, because that protects the ball from the defender if you turn that way. No big deal, though, just a small little thing right there. So now we see Kamarion Pimpton come in and take a look. Right, Mac Markway comes out. Cavontre Bradford, Trey Bradford, whichever name you want to give him, it is Trey Bradford though now. And now we are in 5 wide, and yeah, you're seeing once again the same route you saw with Jayden Daniels. And as you'll see right here, it does seem like the first progression on the double slants right here, especially to the wide side of the field, is outside in, okay, instead of inside out. So Garrett Nussmeier's first read is Shelton Sampson the entire way. Ball is slightly behind him there, but still a good throw, good catch from Shelton. So you're starting to see, a few route concepts that they are, repping over and over, and we'll see if this is actually what they will run in the game. So obviously, if you're a skill guy at LSU, this is going to be my major takeaway from the first few practices here. If you're a skill guy, in particular at running back or wide receiver, unless your name is Malik Nabers, I don't think anybody's repetitions are safe. This is something I think a lot of you are very interested in when it comes to the Florida State game. We see Jackson Howard and Giovanni Peterson, the fifth-string tight end, if you will, in there. And it's Mason Lunsford, Emory Jones, and a bunch of our starting offensive linemen. Good snap, good hold, and good kick here on the extra point. And then, of course, the GOAT, Slade Roy, baby. Ha, ha, ha.
Scuffling is something that always comes with football if you're passionate about it. Like, if you're not having a scuffle, then, like, do you really want to play football? You know what I mean?
So you feel like you need one of those every camp, one or two of those, or?
I mean, I don't feel like you need one, but it's bound to happen if you're really passionate about the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of first day or a couple days in the fall camp, everyone's excited. So, I mean, everything gets chirpy and they're excited to be back. So it's just energy's through the roof. But Coach Kelly just said respect the brotherhood. I mean, we just got to respect each other. At the end of the day, we're teammates, and we got to work together to get each other better. And we'll do that to the other team, not our team. So.
Alrighty, so as you can tell, it doesn't seem like those players, Mason Taylor and Savion Jones, are too concerned about what happened there. The 5 players that were mostly mentioned, Kyren Lacy and Malik Nabers, they did not return to practice, and Denver Harris, Major Burns, and Harold Perkins. Harold tried to get back into an 11-on-11 scrimmage, but he was not allowed back into the scrimmage. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It is interesting. Mason Taylor will go on to say that last year they only had 1 fight, and this year that they had 2. Now, We did have Patrick Queen on our channel earlier this year. I highly recommend you check out the interview. We talked a little bit about the 2019 skirmish that is pretty legendary, and the players felt that helped bond the team for the 2019 LSU run. So overall, I'm not panicking too much about that, and as Savion Jones said, it's good to see that people have that much juice and they care that much. Now, what I will say is, let's just not hope that gets over to the field, right? You don't want any excessive hitting, celebration, whatever kind of penalties. You want to limit that, and last year LSU overall was a pretty disciplined team when it comes to that department. Now, I'm going to go through a few things based on what I've heard from people at practice, and I'm going to start off with obviously the most newsworthy thing, in that J.K. Johnson did hurt his leg, and I do want to point out that J.K. Johnson is a big piece for what LSU wants to do with its secondary, because right now LSU secondary is still up in the air. Now, other than that, I will give you a few players that, once again, I'm hearing is moving up the ranks. Deshaun Womack is one of those guys, and they are moving him around a little bit. They're trying their best to get him on the field as much as possible. Also heard Mason Smith also had a really, really good day on the defensive side of the football. And here's the good thing about the LSU secondary having a rough go at it in the early portions of these practices, is that Jayden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier are lighting them up. So, yeah, I'm also hearing some really good things from just the true freshmen and newcomer pass catchers at LSU just in general. So that's obviously a really good thing. So loving to hear that, and also loving, obviously, working on generating more turnovers here with Matt House. So let me know down below, do you feel the fight was a big deal? Are you a little bit concerned? Give me your honest thoughts. It's okay. And don't forget about our live stream schedules. Okay. Now you see in the background, you see obviously Kamarion Pimpton getting some blocking reps. This is very important. I do think this is one of the more important drills for true freshman tight ends. So there you go. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. And tonight we are doing lemon pepper chicken wings. Let's go.